Hey guys, Rod here at A Better Way to Farm, where we increase profits and improve yields. Exciting to have you tune in to today's episode. We titled this, When Not to Foliar Feed and Why You Need a Sprayer. Guys, we're going to go off into some stuff here. We've done a bunch of it. I want to encourage you, reach out to Karen or Kayla and request the ebook. Okay, there's a lot of things in there on foliar feeding. Karen put up a post, and we've got a lot of people asking questions, and I'm going to burn through these first, but they're things we've already covered. Do you tissue test before applying? Yes, we would much prefer there to be a tissue test because we want to apply what we need, not anything more, not anything less. How and when do you see a response? Well, when done correctly, it's very, very consistent based off the tissue test when we get the rest of it right. And again, that's in the ebook. What do we do when it's 90 with no rain in 2 weeks and we're already in a drought? That's one of the things we're going to talk about here just in a little bit. A lot of different things going on in here around the drought, and I totally respect that and understand that. Someone said, what do we recommend on alfalfa? We have a program for that. We would invite you to reach out. I'm not going to go into that today. So what I do want to talk about is something that happened here, actually 2 or 3 things that's happened over the course of the last week, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, because I've had a bunch of people reach out to me. And this morning I took a call from one of our top guys out in the field working with his growers, and he was just calling for confirmation because his grower had called him and said, hey, we're going to spray fungicide and we want to foliar feed at the same time. Can we go ahead and do that? And our person said, yes, you can, depending. Let's talk about when and what you're doing. And the farmer said, well, they can't get here till about 2:30 in the afternoon, and it's supposed to be 87 degrees. That's only 1 degree above 86. Can we go ahead and do this? And guys, we have a lot of sayings, things that we hang our hat on here. Like I'm looking at my desk pad and it says it's never wrong to do the right thing. It says solve it by sundown. It says frustration is the precursor to innovation. Some other things that we believe, guys, is that we always will tell you the truth to the best of our ability. However, we will not tell you what you want to hear. This guy wanted to hear, yeah, go ahead and do it. Yeah, it's going to be okay. Foliar feed at 87 degrees. The answer is no, absolutely not. I would love to tell you that the laws of chemistry and the laws of biology don't apply to you. Unfortunately, they apply to everyone. And when we foliar feed and it is above 86 degrees, we are begging for trouble. At best, we're not going to get a response. At worst, we're going to get a yield decrease because we're going to create burn, and we don't want to do that. And so the number one time to not foliar feed is when the temperature is wrong. The number 2 time not to foliar feed is when the stage of the crop is incorrect. And the whole deal is when this applicator called the guy and he said, I can't get there till 2:30, and the farmer was like, well, I really need you to be here earlier or come later because of the temperature and everything. And the applicator, and I'm not down on anybody, guys, and this is why you need a sprayer. The applicator used one of the 2 lines that we have that we really don't like, that we hear. And the applicator said, oh, it'll probably be okay. You'll probably get away with it. Guys, people that say that are reckless because they're saying, well, it may be a problem and it may cost you money, but it's okay because I just want to do what I want to do. And then when they come back after they do that, the follow-up line to that almost always is, it'll grow out of it. I hate those 2 lines a lot, and you should too. I believe those are 2 lines that say you need to find someone new to work with. It'll probably be okay. That means there's a good risk of a problem, and it'll grow out of it. It probably will. Very infrequently will we kill something. However, we may set it back. The question is not will it grow out of it. The question is how much did it cost you? That's the relevant question. And the answer oftentimes is a lot. And we don't want to take that chance. We just absolutely do not want to take that chance with this. We want to make sure that we're doing it correctly, especially around temperature and stages, guys. And this is the point of why you need a sprayer. God bless the applicators, because they're doing their job. Their job is to take that sprayer and run across as many acres as they can. Their job is not to say, okay, this particular herbicide, in order to activate, needs a lot of blue-purple UV light, which means it needs to be sprayed in the morning before lunch so it can have all day to get the sunlight on it. It is not their job to say, you want a foliar feed, and therefore it needs to be done when it is cool early in the morning or late in the evening. But their job is they're moving from this town to this town to this town, and you're in the middle, and that puts them at you in the middle of the day. I understand why this happens. I'm not down on that. But what I am saying is when you have your own sprayer, no one cares about your field like you do. And when you have your own sprayer, if you need to be spraying a chemical that needs blue-purple UV rays, you can do it early in the morning. If you're spraying a chemical that really should be sprayed in the heat of the day, you can do that. And if you're foliar feeding, you can get it at the right temperature every time. That's why we believe strongly that a sprayer is your friend. And I get guys and they say, I don't want to drop $1 million on a sprayer. We were just looking on the internet 2 nights ago, and there was a really nice pull type sprayer on there for $1,500. Really nice sprayer, good shape. It was smaller. It would be great for a smaller grower who had just a few hundred acres. Yes, it only had a 60-foot boom. No, it wasn't a Rogator or it wasn't a Hagee. It wasn't fancy, but it would do the job. And sometimes one of the other things that we believe in is do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Maybe you cannot buy $1 million sprayer. We're not going to do that. We don't farm enough to justify it. But we bought an older Hagee. Maybe you could buy a pull type that's in really good shape. There's a lot of nice pull types out there for not very much money. And especially for foliar feeding where you don't have to worry about getting any chemical on you from a health standpoint, they're a great investment. And it lets you control your destiny. You can do what you want when you want it. All right? I had one individual who kind of lit us up a little bit, and he said, why do you foliar feed when all the nutrients go in through the roots? It is true that the majority of nutrients are going in through the roots. My question to you is, why do you my question to you is, why do you broadcast knowing that it goes in through the roots? Because the roots only come in contact with about 2% of the soil profile. Think about that one for a little bit, please. But anyway, why do you foliar feed when it goes in through the roots? It doesn't just go in through the roots. When we foliar feed, the nutrient goes in through the stomata and it goes in through the cuticle. And when we do that, we get it into the plant, we get it in there so it'll translocate. And what does that do? It excites the roots so we get more roots, so we get more moisture and we get more nutrients coming in through the root system. That's exactly why you foliar feed, so we can take in more nutrients through those root systems. So I agree with you, the roots are our best friend. Our suggestion is you do something to help those roots. You be their friend, you help them be more successful. And that's what we're looking at with those. The other thing that seems to be on everybody's mind and should be is the drought. You know, we have had the last 2 weekends here where we live, we were supposed to get 2.5 inches of rain both weekends. Excuse me. And we got 0.7, so we got 7 100ths the first weekend, and the second weekend we got 3 100ths, 0.03. And so when we start looking at, we've had 1/10 of an inch of rain here in the month of June, we are not in good shape, and it's hot. It's hot today. We're at 86 already, and it's still morning. And so we know that it's going to be plenty hot. So the question becomes, what are we going to do? Part of this is on philosophy, okay? I talked to my good friend Corey last night through texting, and Corey sent me a picture of his crop, and he sent me a picture of his sprayer, and he said, we're going to push it. And I look at his crop, and it looks great. Is it dry? Yes. Is it a question mark? Yes, but I have a question. If you're farming for a drought, if you really believe you're going to burn up, why did you plant? Okay, you say maybe for federal crop insurance. All right, I can't argue that, I guess. But if you're planning on a failure, that seems like a really weird deal. Corey's picture was this. The corn looks good. We're still in the game. We're going to push it. Is it a gamble? Yeah, because if it never rains again, it could be problematic. However, when Corey foliar feeds that, He's going to drive the roots deeper. He's going to take up more nutrients. He's going to take up more moisture, and he's going to survive this drought longer than somebody who doesn't. Now, the flip side of that is when you get into that field that already looks like dull pineapple, and it looks like that early in the morning, all day long, late at night, it's already really drought stressed. That's too far gone. Okay. Number one of another time to never foliar feed is when it's under heavy stress. If your cornfield looks like a dull pineapple, that is not the time to foliar feed. That is the time to pull back and say, nope, we're not doing this, because we're not going to rescue the perishing here. Okay. We're going to push the good, but we're not going to make a rescue out of a failure. And so when your stage of drought determines what you're going to do. If you could see across the road from our house here, we've got a field over here. We're getting ready to do some foliar work at V8. It's dry, but we're not hurting yet. We're not rolling up. Now, we've got several fields around us here that by 9 o'clock in the morning, they look like a pineapple field. They really do. I would not go out there and do those. So that's a call that you have to make, guys. You know, if you think it's too far, then don't do it. That's the beauty of our whole system. The old way of farming back in the 80s, we went out there and we did a blow and go, and we put on all of our N, all of our P, all of our K in the fall. And then if we didn't get to plant, it was wasted. And this way, what we do, we put on some when we plant in the row, and then we come back, and if we like what we see at V3, we gamble a little more money and we hit it again. And if we're still in the game at V8, we hit it again. If we're still in the game when we get to VT to R2, we can hit it one more time and push it above and beyond. And so it just depends on where we're at. But if at any point in time we see that it's not to our advantage, then we're going to stop. We're going to stop gambling money. But at least we didn't have to gamble all of our money in November hoping that we had a decent summer. This way we put some down. We make a bet in April or May. We make a bet in June. We make a bet in late June or early July. We make another bet when we get to VT. And so if the cards keep coming, we keep going. We keep betting. If it turns against us, then it's time to fold and we back out. So guys, I hope this has answered some of your questions. Again, the guys who are out there, there are a ton of operators out there who do a great job when they're out applicating. But the fact is they've got a job to do, and it's to cover acres. That's their number one job. And you have a job to do, and your job is to make the most money per acre off of your field. And sometimes those are not completely and totally compatible. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. It makes us different. So let us be the ones to encourage you. Look at purchasing a sprayer. And guys, if you're looking for the time not to foliar feed, when the temperature's out of whack, that's number one. When the stage is wrong, that's number two. When number three is going to be any time that we're way too far drought stressed, okay? And again, you don't foliar feed the worst 50% of your acres hoping to save them. You foliar feed your best 50% hoping to push them. So guys, I hope this has answered some questions for you. We appreciate you tuning in. No matter what platform you find us on, TikTok, the podcast platform at A Better Way to Farm of your choice, the podcast platform that you use, Facebook, whatever it is, we encourage you to go by abetterwaytofarm.com, fill out the profit calculator, see what you can grab there. Hey, by the way, we have one of our 2 days fundamental of agronomy programs coming up in July. We're going to be up around Des Moines there in mid-July. If you'd be interested in that, reach out to us. We would love to have you come, take a good long look at what we do. Here's our promise. You show up, you'll make $15 an acre more next year than you would have if you didn't come. That's our guarantee. If you don't see how you can make $15 an acre, we'll give you back your money. That's a pretty good guarantee, guys. Thank you for following us. If you find value in what we do, please share us with a friend or give us a rating or tag someone else in it. We would really, really appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having an awesome day, and just keep working hard and keep believing, and we're going to get through this thing with the drought. It will rain sooner or later. I know our friends that were burning up last year in Kansas and some of the Nebraska boys are getting rain, and God bless them. Guys, thanks a lot for your time. We really do hope you're having a better day.